So, welcome back, guys. It's been a minute. I'm happy to be back. So, if you remember, if you have been a follower of the channel, remember we planted soybeans last season on the farm. So, today I'm going to show you guys how I use my soybean plants. So, today is a recipe from the garden edition. So, once the soybean is harvested, as you can see here, we'll go ahead and winnow it. And by winnowing basically is to break it out from the pods after they are completely dry. So this is how the winnowing is done. Then when you break it out from the pods, this is what it will look like. Then you go ahead and remove the chaff and stones, and then you can keep it for up to 3 years. So this is the finished product. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and process these into milk, soybean milk, and Awara or tofu as it is called. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and wash it. So after it is thoroughly washed, I'm going to go ahead and add water so that it soaks for just maybe 30 minutes or an hour. It depends on you. The soaking doesn't really matter. So I'll just put water in it, getting ready to take it to the mill. So I want to add potable, drinkable water because that's the water that will be in the milk at the end, right? So I've added the water, and this is how it looks after about 30 minutes. So off we go to the grinding machine. Of course, you can use your blender if you have one that's strong enough. But I'm going with my grinding machine. So I'm back from the grinding machine. So this is what it looks like. It looks very fluffy like ice cream. So right now I'm going to go ahead and prepare everything I need to sieve it to get the milk out. So you can use your silk cloth or your sieve, or you can use this particular one, anyone you prefer, but I prefer the one that is handheld. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and begin to separate the milk from the chaff. So this process of separating the milk from the chaff is the same for both Awara and the milk. You understand? That's for the drinkable milk. So, but if you want to see where each of them begins to differ, the process begins to differ, you have to continue watching the video. So I see when I separate the milk, the process of separating the Awara from the milk. So this is the chaff that you get after separating the milk, which is very good for your livestock. In fact, my neighbor was waiting for me. As soon as I removed it, she took it and fed it to her goats. It's very nutritious for them. So after sieving the first one, so I'm still going to go ahead and pass it through the sieve while I pour it into the pot that I'll boil it in, just to remove any leftover or particles that must have fallen into my milk. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my milk into this pot through the sieve. So this is what the milk will look like, quite creamy. So the next step, after I sieve all the milk that I have, all the soya beans that I have, the next step will be to put it on the fire. So the fire is ready, so I'm going to go ahead and put my milk on the fire. So that's it right there. So the first one I'm making is the drinkable milk. So when your milk is on fire, I want to stir constantly because soybean milk burns easily. You have to come in and stir it constantly so that you don't lose all your milk as sediment. So when the milk has boiled for about 5 minutes, and normally I allow mine to boil over, to just pour at the sides of the pot, then I'm sure it is now ready to drink, because improperly cooked soya beans milk can be a discomfort to your digestive system. So this is the soya beans. You can see it looking all creamy. So you can sweeten yours however you want. I just use ordinary sugar, and then I've added the sugar. I'm now stirring it, and then I also like to add vanilla flavor because I love how it tastes when I add vanilla flavor to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my vanilla flavor, and I'm good to go ahead and enjoy it with the family. So next, for the awara or tofu, right? So as the same process, you put your milk on the fire. So as the milk has started boiling, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my coagulant. I'm using citric acid. You can see it's a white powder, just like sugar, but it's citric acid. So I'm putting it here. You can see the quantity I'm using. I'm adding a bit of water. It dissolves quite quickly. So now that it has dissolved, right, I'm just rushing here because my milk is already boiling. I don't want it to go to waste. So I now take it into and begin to sprinkle it into the boiling milk. So you don't want to pour it all at once. You just sprinkle it, and you can see it immediately begins to coagulate. So you just stir gently to see if you need to add more coagulant. You can see I need to add more. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle more. And you can see right before your very eyes it is coagulating. I'm going to go ahead and keep on adding until you see the clear separation of the milk and from the water. Mind you, are doing all these things while your milk is on the fire. So right now you can see the separation is clear. You can clearly see water at this side, so the coagulation is complete. So right now I'm going to take it out of the fire and pour it into a cheesecloth. Don't mind my video, my camera was out of focus, but you can see my blue cheesecloth. It is inside a bucket, so I'm pouring the hot coagulated soybean milk into it. So after pouring it, I'm going to tie the cheesecloth, press out the water as much as possible. Then I'm going to put it somewhere with a heavy object on top of it, so that all the water will completely drain out, and also the coagulated soybean milk, or the awara, or the tofu, will stick together properly and then form a solid mass. So I'm putting mine inside the sieve, and I'm going to go ahead and put something heavy on top of it, and I'm going to leave it for 4 hours. So 4 hours has passed as I said. So I'm going to go ahead and check out the tofu. So I'm going to bring it out of the cheesecloth to see how well we have done. So you can see it has taken the shape of the sieve. Basically, you can mold it into any shape you want. If you want it to be square, you put it in a square, solid, whatever, for it to take that shape. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to cut it into chunks that are manageable before I go ahead and fry it. So after cutting the awara into manageable sizes, the frying begins. Just add oil to a hot saucepan. Make sure the oil is hot, and then I begin to drop the awara or the tofu inside so that it begins to fry. So once it becomes brown on one side, turn it to the other side, being vigilant where it doesn't burn. So I like mine to be really brown, so I'll make sure I fry it very well. So that's how you continue frying until you fry the whole batch. So this is what it looks like, crispy brown. You can eat it like this, or you can enjoy it with your stew and onions, as you can see here. So that is awara for you.